So I was on break at work today, and I saw something pop up on my Twitter feed about the passing of somebody that I know very well, someone whose career I followed pretty closely, and that is Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Hmm.
Obviously, you guys know I got my namesake from Owen Hart, and Owen Anvil formed a nice team called the New Foundation for a while. They had the taxi cab pants, which of course led to high energy with Coco Beware. But obviously, you remember the Anvil most from the Hart Foundation. Not really much of his run as Who or his really odd run in WCW. But no, the fact that he was a member of one of the best tag teams of our day. And it's just scary thinking about looking at that image of the Hart Foundation from Canadian Stampede, and the only one still alive is Brett.
Hmm.
It's scary. But I don't know if you were a Hart Foundation fan. Actually, I'm not sure. We haven't really discussed that before.
I mean, to some extent, you got to acknowledge, how, because I was catching some old promos and stuff, like from the original Heart Foundation run in like the mid 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the stuff, it was just like, Mr. Interviewer, what do you call a female dog? And it's like, well, the technical term is a bitch. And Neidhart just goes, like he's like giggling, like, oh, he's a
Exactly.
schoolboy. Um,
That laugh was iconic.
um, the sad thing is, the only thing I could come up with in terms of like more recent memories is Heroes of Wrestling.
Yeah.
But that's only because Volkov obviously passed away recently
Right.
with the same sort of situation. That was probably the most high profile match that he ever had after, because I don't remember much of Neidhart stuff in WCW.
A lot of stuff I remember watching him on Saturday night and doing a bunch of job matches. Well, a bunch of matches against job guys.
Was it him or somebody else that was involved with Tank Abbott for a bit?
That would have been a good feud.
Oh, I'm just getting confused because Tank Abbott sort of looked like Jim to some extent in appearance and demeanor and sort of craziness. Um,
He also did a stint in Impact for a minute. He was there for a literal cup of coffee.
yeah, for a little bit. Um,
The biggest thing he did in his WCW run was his run with the British Bulldog when they did a tag team that was immortalized in the WCW Revenge video game for N64.
mm-hmm. I'm just looking at the little details about it on Meltzer's write up for the day, saying that it obviously rocked quite a lot of people backstage because Natalia and TJ, Tyson Kidd, whatever you want to call him, are very well liked. Dave knew of Jim since he was a kid because he was a superstar in high school track.
Right.
And when he was in high schools years after him, there was a great shot putter that ended up winning state, and the goal that he never came close to was Jim's all-time state high school record. He's a world-class shot putter that Stu Hart was training for pro wrestling 40 years ago. Um, According to the police report, they were called at 6 in the morning today and told that he fell, hit his head, and was bleeding. His wife basically said that he was having some difficulty sleeping. Said that it was that he was cold and went to adjust the thermostat. He got out of bed, walked over to the thermostat, then fell towards the wall, having a seizure, which they believe is what has led from his Alzheimer's that he was recently diagnosed with.
Right.
Hit the ground and called 911, believing it was just a seizure, because she saw blood, saw him gargling, and told the operator that she thought he was dead. And he takes medication for seizures, and apparently last had one about 8 months ago ish. But yeah, I believe that the fall led to bleeding on the brain,
Right.
and that in all is what killed him. And Natty's statement on Twitter goes, quote, "I can't put into words how hard it is going to be for myself and our family to have to say goodbye to Dad. He meant the world to us, and nothing will ever replace the special times we shared together as a family. My dad was always a fighter and an incredibly special person. There was nobody like him. I'm just going to miss him so much. We're going to hold all the moments we had with him close to our hearts forever and never let him go. I promise to keep your memory alive. We love you so much, Daddy. On behalf of my entire family, we'd also like to personally thank everybody for the outpouring of thoughts and prayers. It's meant so much to us." And if I can jump into this a little early, they did what was probably a doubly great move, if that's even possible, tonight. Because we opened not even with a graphic for Raw. Well, what we actually opened is Ronda making her way out, and Renee's on commentary. We'll get to that in a bit, but Ronda is getting choked up, and she says how earlier today Natalia's dad passed away. Any loss is heartbreaking, but to lose a father, fathers are pillars of strength in a hostile world. They're the reassurance that things will be okay. When that reassurance is ripped away, we have to face the fact that our fathers have been raising us to be the pillars of strength that our families need when they're gone. And she closed by saying, "Stay strong, Natalia Neidhart. We all love you." So I thought that was a very nice touch in that, one, having, an in-person tribute by Ronda, and you could sort of tell, although it was scripted for Ronda, it actually felt natural and not like bullshit. Also, clearly some people in that show do not read any wrestling stuff, because there were some audible gasps and shrieks when she said that he passed away. I guess people didn't read stuff.
I mean, even in the social media age, Ashley, we have to understand that there are people that still just don't follow, and they go so
That's true.
they can see wrestling at their local venue.
That's true.
The WWF's going to be there. Let's go. I mean, it's that too, that mentality. But
So
yeah.
Nice touch there, though, I will say. Letting Ronda actually sort of do it instead. I mean, what made it more awkward is apparently Triple H was at an OAR concert with Stephanie. So the only person would have been Vince. We can't have
An
Vince
OAR
getting credit
concert?
for anything. Apparently.
Interesting. Oh, and to play into what we're talking about later tonight, to actually get into it directly, did you know that Jimmy Anvil Neidhart was part of the G1 Climax in 1992?
I'm trying to remember who won that one.
Well, I can tell you who's in it. This is an interesting list. Arn Anderson, Stunning Steve Austin, Keith Buto, Barry Windham, Tony Halm, the former Ludwig Borga, Scott Norton, Bam Bam Bigelow, Kensuke Sasaki, Hiroshi Hase, Terry Taylor, the Barbarian, Shinya Hashimoto, Ravishing Rick Rude, Super Strong Machine, and of course the winner, Masahiro Chono. This was for the vacant NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Of course, Chono won.
And we will move forward into G1 later tonight. Before we go any further, we wanted to issue our condolences to the family of Jimmy Emil Neidhart. And now I guess there's a Heart Foundation reunion somewhere out there right now. It's insane how many superstars have passed in the time. It's crazy. And Brett is the only one standing. It's insane to me. But as always, P.T. Barnum once said, the show must go on.
That was Freddie Mercury, wasn't it?
Both, actually. Tyler Powell, Ginger Boy Wonder, returns to chat saying, haven't really watched WB as much anymore. That makes two of us. But did they get rid of the Cruiserweight division on Raw? It appears so.
Yeah.
They're on 205 Live now.
For the better.
Yeah.
Because 205 Live is a Triple H product, which means it's fucking good.
Jeremy Mills is back saying boring Raw. Rest in peace, Anvil. And Logan Burton is returning. It's been a while, but I'm back. Well, welcome back, Logan. This is the new Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. We're doing it on Monday night now.
So, yeah, Ronda continues on in terms of Raw, saying that, Natty was the first person to welcome me when I came in. I'll be the first to defend her when she's gone. Alexa cheated to beat her over and over again, but this Sunday, it'll be different. I'll be the champ. Speaking of beating Alexa, here's the woman that will beat her tonight, Ember Moon. And then Alexa Bliss and Alicia come out afterwards with Fox's arm heavily sort of wrapped in about 5,000 bandages. It makes Orton's cast look fucking rubbish. It's like, people think that the match is a foregone conclusion. I'm a 5-time champ. You've had 3 matches, Ronda. You're a spoiled, overhyped rookie. It won't be a crowning achievement. It'll be your utter humiliation. I'm sick and tired about hearing about you and the dumb look on your face. And she basically does the whole grrr. Yeah, she does the it's already on Total Divas Epps Twitter as a GIF. Don't worry, it's there for everybody. She's there just going like grrr. It's like, yes, this is why I can't boo her. She's also sick and tired of Kurt protecting everybody except her. Roman got kicked out to protect the Universal title match. But Rousey, she gets to be at ringside despite the fact that she was suspended. And so I only spoke to the only fair authority figure, Constable Corbin. And he suggested I get my own personal security. Boys, and then here come 4 burly security guards. One of which I don't know whether it was Sean, my old partner from the open book. It sort of looked like him, but I'm not going to definitively say it was him. Because I'm just thinking, because we're in Greensboro, it's only just down the road from sort of where he normally is. So, and he is a referee.
This is correct.
I don't think it was him. I had to double check. So while Rousey's getting out the ring, Bliss pushed Moon into Rousey, and then Rousey just gets in the ring and is angry, and the 4 security guards are like going, "Nope, you don't want to do this." Judo hip toss to 1, judo hip toss to 2, judo hip toss to 3. Turns to the 4th one. Stereotypical black guy, because, you know, he just goes, "I'm going to run the fuck away." It's like, right? Vince McMahon is racist as hell. Vince McMahon is racist as hell. And then Ronda grabs Fox and gives her a judo hip toss as well. And then, of course, adverts. And then adverts. And then we have insert adverts because we need more adverts. And Ember won by DQ because Alicia Fox broke up a pin and attacked Ember Moon. There's reasons. And then Rousey got in the ring, gave 3 arm drags to Alicia. On the 3rd one, she managed to arm drag her, so Alicia's foot managed to hit the bottom rope. And it rebounded like fuck. So if she's injured, it's her. I don't know whose fault it was. Let's say both of them. Let's say both of them. We're having a contract signing for the IC title later, and the B team against the Deletus of World and Revival for the tag titles. And then, I guess we can tie this in here with the news. They announced that SmackDown episode 1000 is coming in a couple of months. October, I think 16th, is it? Have a quick look. Yeah, October 16th is going to be SmackDown episode 1000 from Washington, D.C. I believe that's the SmackDown. Oh, it's not going to be the SmackDown directly after Australia. There's going to be a couple of days difference. So then they recap the Brock Lesnar Paul Heyman situation and the unless bit they added in. Kurt Angle's backstage with Corbin and basically going, you know, why did you go above my head to Stephanie? And Corbin's like, oh, you know, too bad. And so, you know, I made a match for myself. And then Ziggler and McIntyre come in, and where's Seth? He hasn't shown up. And Kurt's just like, he's got some travel issues, but don't worry, he'll be here. And then kicks him out the room. Because here comes Corbin. He's facing Tyler Breeze. Guess what, Owen?
What's that?
Corbin wins. So then he gets on the mic and says, oh, I'm so good. And I'm like, no. That's a small taste of what I'll do to Finn at SummerSlam. No.
Why is this happening?
It's time for Finn to show what he can do against Jinder Mahal. Except it goes, well, considering Finn thinks he's so great, perhaps it should be a handicap match. Kevin Owens, get on down here. With Baron saying that Finn Balor is a little engine that can't. Despite the fact, if you look at his appearance tonight, he looks more on roids than ever. He was looking toned as shit. Except, Corbin walks up the ramp, satisfied with what he's done. And here comes Angle, who says, look, I know Stephanie's approved this match, but I make the matches around here. Now, I can't cancel the match, but I can add to it. So it's not going to be a handicap match. It's going to be a tag team match. Braun? Get these hands chants going crazy. Absolutely crazy. The best bit with this is but by the time that we basically, I mean, we don't get to the end because it goes on for a while, but midway through, Braun gets the hot tag in. Owens runs like bloody Lightning McQueen and just tags Jinder and runs into the crowd over the barrier. So I'm not having any of this. He does get back into the match and they do some stuff. But Balor and Strowman win by running power slam on Jinder. But the best bit was Strowman grabbed Sunil Singh as he was trying to stop him from getting to Owens. Just grabbed him and used him as a battering ram to smash Owens down. It's like, okay.
I know what that means, and it makes me very happy.
Strowman chases Owens up to the ramp. And then Corbin hits Balor with the end of days. So with that, Balor's winning.
Yep.
And I think Strowman's winning.
Nope. We're not doing predictions yet, but I'm going to go out on a limb later tonight.
I think Strowman is winning.
I don't.
Because I don't know whether having... Because let's be honest, if Strowman cashed in on Roman or Brock, that would get them much better crowd response than I'd say Owens would.
I think it makes more sense with Owens winning.
Yeah, but then Roman is chasing after the title again.
Not necessarily.
There's nobody else.
They can build people. I know.
It's Vince. Vince McMahon doesn't even like big sweaty men anymore. He just fucking likes Roman and nobody else. I mean, hell, he won a trophy the size of bloody the Burj Khalifa. Does he get to pose with it? No. The great thing is, though, Braun looks strong. Jinder and Kevin look great. Finn at some points was like, oh, he's also in this match. Remember, this started off as a handicap match for him. It's just like, nice to have known you, son. Seth's on the phone, but gets the voicemail, and Ziggler and Drew come in and basically saying, oh, he's afraid to be in the ring with us. And Angle's like, don't worry, he's here. I want to look at the contract one last time to make sure nothing falls through the cracks. So here's some guy called Ricky Roberts in the ring with a cowboy hat and chaps on and stuff and a guitar and says, my favorite musician is Elias. I can't play the guitar. But one day I will get so good I'm going to wind up in the Country Music Hall of Fame. And when that day happens, Elias will come to me and say, hello, I am Elias. And then Elias cuts in. And it's like, there's only one Elias in the world, and you're looking at him. Now, I get you're a big fan, but are you big enough fan to go to WWEshop.com to buy a Walk with Elias, What Would Elias Do bracelet? Yes, he doesn't even know what his own fucking merch is called. Then the great thing is, afterwards, he said, yeah, you should all go to shop.com. And I'm going, I had to check. Shop.com does not sell WWE merchandise.
No, it doesn't. He says it's like, think how insane my life is. I've sold out events. And you know what? And this is clearly a dig from some writers. I've sold out Madison Square Garden 3 times.
It's technically true, which is the best bit. And this Saturday night, he's got a concert at the Gramercy Theatre in New York City. And I'm going, why the fuck would you go to that? Takeover's happening. I know it's at like 5 p.m., but I don't know how close that is to the Barclays Center. If it isn't,
Where is this? Where's this location again?
The Gramercy Theatre in NYC.
Let's find out.
And the night after, he'll perform his greatest song yet at SummerSlam because of a universal truth, which is that WWE stands for
It's about a 22-minute drive.
wanking without eyeglasses. That's right, you know. Tar Heels are strong and resilient people, and it must take an unmatched strength and resilience to wake up every day, knowing that you're living in the pile of garbage that is Greensboro. And then here comes Elias. Oh, sorry, here comes Lashley. And basically says, you need to find a new gimmick, Ricky Roberts. Because we've already got a no-talent hack that plays guitar. And I'm going, well, that's a harsh way to describe Steve Austin. So then Roberts, at his infinite something, smashes Lashley in the back with a guitar. Lashley, of course, no-sells this. And gave him... I mean, if you try and see the shot of this spine buster that was delivered, it sort of looked... I mean, I think he came down from that NASA thing that went to the sun. He went up that high. It was nearly sort of like a choke. It was a choke breaker or choke buster, because he threw him up. He put him up that high, and just like it looked more like a choke slam down than anything. It was just like, damn. So then, the B team are preparing for their match. Curtis Axel was like, you know, be positive. And Dallas says, look, I've been doing the math. And, you know, there's 3 teams. You know, the likelihood of us winning is 33.333333333. And it's literally on like 4 sheets of paper. And Axel is like, come on. All we need is B team work. And Bo rightfully goes, yeah, and other words that start with other letters. But yeah, the most important thing is that Axel doesn't think the math is right. Come on, internet. You're ruining a joke.
You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at small joke.
Of course.
They have a pretty solid match. The big thing is Wyatt and Dawson are the legal men. Dawson gets rebounded into the ropes, I think, from sort of like a back elbow or something from Wyatt. And Axel tags in without Dawson knowing. So Wyatt goes for Sister Abigail, gets out, they hit the shatter machine. Dawson, who he thinks he's the legal man, is pinning him, Wyatt. The ref's like, I can't do anything. Axel grabs Dawson, throws him outside into Wilder, covers Bray for the pin, and the B team retain. Smart logic.
Yeah.
In all honesty. Then Roman's backstage and the B team show up. It's like, yes, don't sleep on the B team. Don't sleep on the B team. And Roman is confused. And I'm like, at least they're excited. And Dolph and Drew return the contracts. And Ziggler's going, there's an issue here. Why is Seth allowed to have somebody in his corner? And everyone's going,
hold the phone.
And Angle goes, well, I could remove that, but that would mean Drew wouldn't be in your corner. So Roman comes out to muted reception because, man, that turn the volume down button is pretty damn fucking good, isn't it, Kevin? Leave this place better than I found it. That's something I tell myself every day in this position. The truth is, I'm never going to be able to accomplish the goal with Brock here. That means it's time for Brock to go. I'm sick of tired about hearing about him, talking about him, looking at him, all the lies in the rumors. It ends at SummerSlam. I'm taking back the title. And I'm going to send Lesnar so far back into UFC that he'll find his head stuck in Dana White's ass. That's not an image that I wanted it, in all honesty. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. I'm not to steal a line from anybody on SmackDown, but it's a new day. Yes, it is. And if I was going to steal a line from SmackDown, I'd steal it from the Usos, who are the future of the tag team division. And speaking of the future of the division in WWE, oh, look, it's the number one contender for the Universal title, Roman. And Reigns is like, you must be confused, but how? It might be good. You were able to cry on cue last week, so I'm interested in what you got to say this week. And Heyman says, look, this is your week of history, and why wait till Sunday for it? You can start making history right now. Now, I don't know if you heard about what I said to Renee Young last week, because I said, unless. And the unless is unless I tell you every one of Lesnar's dirty big secrets. Now, I know you think that you can beat Lesnar, but with me in your corner, I'll be coming in. You'll be going in knowing that you'll be able to beat him no matter what and become Universal Champ. And Heyman extends his hand, and Reigns goes, you don't get that I already know all of this. I beat him in Saudi Arabia. Hell, he wouldn't have made it out of the cage if I didn't spear him through it. It wouldn't have ended quicker if it wasn't for Bull. Bull's guilty as charged, you know. Hopefully the sins of the father won't reach his children. And Heyman's just like rebutting in, going, no, I'm not here to talk about the past. I'm a visionary and looking at the future. And it's exactly 1 week today from this vision. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Paul Heyman, and I'm the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champ, Roman Reigns. And Heyman's going again, and Reigns is just not responding. When Reigns is like, I was groomed at a young age for this position. My dad told me how to swim with sharks in this business, and my dad also taught me to recognize the sharks that are drowning. And you're drowning, Heyman. I wish you the best in your future endeavors. And Heyman goes, well, that is correct. You know, I'm drowning with knowledge that was riding in the car with Uncle Affa and Father Seeker. You know, your dad taught you something that he taught all of his sons, and this came from the heart because it was taught in Samoan. And he speaks some Samoan to Reigns, and Reigns is like, wow. And it's like, I know it because your father taught it to me. I beg of you again to think it over and not give your answer tonight. Give me your answer at SummerSlam. And he hands him a piece of paper, and Reigns looks it over. And from out of nowhere, Heyman just pepper sprays him in the fucking face about 4 times. It's like, holy shit, what's going on? And the stagehand shows up like, yeah, well, we'll try and help you out. Brock Lesnar's music hits, and then it's like, I'm running the fuck away. And Lesnar knees away at his ribs. Puts him in a guillotine choke. Leaves the ring. Him and Heyman walk up the ramp, but Reigns wakes up a bit. So Lesnar's like, okay, I'm coming back to the ring. Gives him the F5, stands over Reigns, and Lesnar and Heyman walk to the back. Apparently, the whole, oh, they don't like each other was once again another ruse. I mean, you know, Paul Heyman has saved this match from being one that I don't want to see to one that I slightly don't want to see. Roman Reigns is being seen to backstage by doctors, including Chris Amon. Is he going to misdiagnose something? Is he in a relationship with any other women backstage? You better be careful, Ruby Riott. I've heard he's trouble, especially for people that are from the Chicago area. He's trouble. The great thing is, they do all this. The bell rings. No entrances for any of these guys. You might understand why when I say this match was Titus Worldwide and Bobby Roode versus the Office of Pain and Mojo Rawley.
Why? Oh my God, why?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the bloody sounder. Even though I should have bookmarked it, but I never did. So yeah, they have a match. Titus Worldwide and Bobby Roode win. Oh, and then I find it.
What the fuck is this shit?
That happened.
I do appreciate the Bobby Roode, Zack Ryder tag team over the weekend, though.
Probably, but you know, I've lost all hope.
What are they doing to Bobby Roode? Seriously.
By the way, on main event, No Way Out, they beat Kurt Hawkins and Slater and Rhino beat Ascension.
Oh my God.
That makes sense. Then they do a really good video package for Neidhart. Can't say anything else. It was just a very good, well put together package. And then we run down SummerSlam. of which there's 13 matches now, Owen.
Jeez.
On the pre-show, we've got Alexandra Gulak, Rusev and Lana versus Almas and Vega, and B-Team versus Revival for the tag titles. Alexander Gulak's for the Cruiserweight title, by the way.
Right.
And then the main 10 are Brian Miz and Balor Corbin, which are the only non-stipulation or, thing up for grab matches. We've got Nakamura versus Hardy for the US title, Carmella, Becky, and Charlotte in a triple threat for the SmackDown Women's. Obviously, the Raw Women's is Alexa and Ronda. Ziggler and Seth for the IC title. Strowman's Money in the Bank briefcase up for grabs against Owens. Bludgeon Brothers versus New Day for the SmackDown tag belts. AJ versus Small Joe for the WWE title. And then the Universal title is Brock and Roman. Can't wait for another match to get added tomorrow. No.
Dear God, I hope you're like. That's my response to you.
What's the paperwork in America for getting fired? I know over here it's like a P45.
Pink slip.
Yeah, so it's Randy Orton versus Pink Slip maybe this Sunday. Well, if the allegations are true, you ain't gonna want that sort of shit in your company when you're trying to be inclusive, aren't you? In all honesty. So then your main event match is Sasha Banks versus Ruby Riott. I can think of better matches. Ruby Riott getting the win thanks to capitalizing on God knows how many distractions. With a roll up on Sasha. And this was just like, oh God, this might have to continue. Who the fuck knows? So now we've got shots of Seth Rollins in Shanghai. Then Kurt's backstage at Corbin and says, look, there's no sign of Seth. One of Raw's biggest top matches at SummerSlam might not happen because you wait till the last minute. And Angle's pissed and he walks off. So Kurt's in the ring and wants to address the Lesnar and Heyman attack on Roman. And luckily, medical personnel said Reigns will still be able to compete. Now, I won't suspend Lesnar. I won't strip him of the title because I want Roman to go in on Sunday, kick Brock's ass, and bring the Universal title back to Monday Night Raw. And reiterates that Lesnar is the worst Universal champ ever. This gets interrupted by Ziggler and McIntyre and says, look, Seth isn't here. It's time to call it. Yeah. Let's be honest. You can't afford to lose another match, Kurt. Even if Reigns can't compete. This is actually McIntyre with it. If Reigns couldn't compete, you prop him up and carry him out there just to protect your job. And Ziggler's like, if this match isn't happening, I just can go into, I can't remember what comedy club it was, but some comedy club in New York and do a stand-up comedy spot instead. And he introduces Seth, and there is no Seth. And it's like, look, the match is off. Of all the beatings we've laid on Seth, he's run away. It was a great champ. But he knows he can't beat me, so he's quit. Seth was the architect of his own downfall. He busted his ass for the fans, and that's a one-way street. They just forgot. This fickle audience forgets. They love it when Seth burns it down, but they forget that they used to love when he stole the show. It just means nothing. The second you feel slighted or the shiny object loses its luster, the crowd just turns their back. It's easy to be around for the good times, but no one stayed for the hard times. And for the first time in my life, somebody truly has my back. This guy doesn't accompany me to the ring and ride my coattails. This psychopath And I'm going, wait, they're calling him the Scottish psychopath? Ciampa's going to be fucking pissed. I mean, this psychopath pushes me every single night for the betterment of the company and the entire world. I don't care about the people. I don't care about stealing the show. I do whatever the hell that I want. And we took the whole thing over. And then Ziggler just goes, look, give me the contract, I'll sign it, and we'll make it a Seth forfeit. And Ziggler signs and goes, yeah, it's done. Which is clearly the signal to the Kevin Dunn in the back to go, press the fucking music. It's time to burn it down. Because Seth comes out on the ramp and goes, look, I'm sorry, that I've had late and had my issues. I'm also sorry that you had to sit for a Ziggler therapy session. By the way, Ziggler and Drew McIntyre's appearance, they are looking more and more like Shawn and Diesel.
I've been saying that since day one.
To be honest, with the way Dolph's hair was, it was more like Hunter Hearst Helmsley from back in the day than HBK.
So basically, you're saying they were like Triple H China.
China didn't have a beard.
Triple H did Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yeah, but Rick Rude was fucking Lloyd's of London.
But he had a beard.
The closest is Shawn and Diesel.
Well, yeah,
It's
that's
just-
what we've been saying since day one.
It's just the hair looked very old school Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That was about it. And, in all honesty, Dolph, I've actually been here for a while, but I didn't want to come out before you signed the contract, because if I came out before, you probably wouldn't sign after hearing what I've got to say, because I was delayed by travel issues, but it wasn't my travel issues. That clause about having a partner in the corner at SummerSlam is intentional, because I'm tired of dealing with 2-on-1 beatdowns. And since you've got the Scottish psychopath in your corner, I better have a lunatic in mine. And yeah, Dean Ambrose in beard and ginger hair.
He looks so homeless right now. Good
Comes
God,
out.
he looks homeless.
They beat down on Ziggler and McIntyre. Ambrose is, going crazy. Rollins signs the contract. And they fist. They do the fisty thing. And yeah. An average-ish show. But not in a bad... It wasn't like a typical shit go-home show. Despite the fact that the matches were probably, rubbish. Because Seth wasn't wrestling. The Ronda thing at the start was very good, especially with the Alexa stuff. Braun just being Braun was good. And I understand why they did the Constable Corbin thing, because they need to sort of hype him up somehow. The Bobby Lashley, whatever the fuck that move was. The triple threat was pretty decent, just for the little swerve and all that. Heyman saving Roman and Lesnar again, because when they did the beatdown afterwards, I was like, oh. There was that 6-man that happened. The Jim Neville Neidhart package. And the main event segment with Dean actually coming back. I thought they'd pull the trigger at SummerSlam itself. I mean, honestly, they should have done it weeks before, but I see why they did it in terms of rating grabs and all that.
Logan has some comments from chat. It says, what the heck happened to AOP and Bobby Roode? Roode, I don't know.
It happened. NXT calls-ups happened. 50% of the time, they go well. The other 50%, they get lost in the fucking sea of shit.
SummerSlam is shaping up to be a bore, at least on the Raw side of things. At least SmackDown is trying to put effort in their matches. Raw side rinse and repeat. My main question, why are Bayley, Sasha, Ember, Ruby, and Asuka not part of the SummerSlam? 5 of the best females on the roster, and they're not booked. Because of storylines, that's why.
You left out Alicia Fox.
Because of storylines, that's why. So dumb. I mean, again, this is the WrestleMania of the summer. This is going to be a live show where, I mean, let's see how many times I fall asleep. The thing is, I just gotta hope this is going to be a good show.
Yeah, who the fuck cares? We're getting a Stardom match for the Mae Young Classic Finals.
God. It helped me so much if I started watching more wrestling again. It's just like I don't have the want.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it right now. That's the problem.
Pretty much.
So yeah, that's Raw in a nutshell.
I won't cover Impact's TV stuff.
Oh, why not?
Oh, okay.
I mean, technically speaking, we have a new one that just dropped like now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get into the spoilers instead. But yeah, Ishimori and Williams against the Desi Hit Squad was pretty solid. But then a Desi Hit Squad's in it, so I don't give a fuck.
When storms knock out, right?
Then there was a shit ton of video packages. Then Ali wanted a match with Su Young. Not interested in winning the title, but just stopping her from putting anybody else inside of a casket. Leave your belt at home, bring your undead ass. Anyway, Tessa beat Alicia Edwards, which is pretty decent. Then the flashback of Chris Sabin beating P.E. Williams in a World X Cup match. They're really trying to drag out the World Cup stuff. There was also a backstage segment with Scarlett walking to the ring with the the twat that looks like Joseph Park carrying her bags. Fucking hell. She also distracted KM and Falabar as she walked by. Then walked into a room where a bunch of fawning men bent over backwards to accommodate to her. And she said, all the other girls are jealous of me and I didn't feel comfortable getting to the ring with them. So Scarlett's getting her own show called The Smoke Show, which is debuting next week.
It's just basically Terrell Volume 2. That's exactly what this is.
So what we're saying is Scarlett Bordeaux needs to become a born-again Christian. The most important thing is Pentagon beat Matt Sydal in a good match. Then backstage, Callahan demanded that one of the Christs shave his head as well. And Jake volunteered. So Callahan said, good. Dave, shave your fucking head. And so Jake shaved Dave's head instead. Because, you know. Then they're doing a street fight inside the concrete jungle, apparently, between LAX and the OGs. Apparently. So we're getting Callahan Phoenix, because that feud has to continue for no fucking reason. Ali versus Su Yung, because that needs to continue for no fucking reason. And Johnny Impact and Jimmy Jacobs.
Yes.
Well, no, that makes sense. And Joe Hendry versus Eli Drake. Thank fucking God. And the debut at the Smoke Show. Fuck. And then Aries beat Edwards to retain, thanks to Killer Cross. And then we jump to things. Things. Thingy, thing.
Before we go there, I do want to bring up something to you, Ashley. I don't know if you have or not. Have you checked out the? We obviously promote being the elite constantly here on this network, and deservingly so. Have you checked out the multiverse with Rosemary and Ellie?
Well,
This is some really
Is
good
it?
stuff.
Yeah, but is it Rosemary at the minute?
Courtney Rush right now, literally.
Yes, that's
She's
the
even
best
back
bit.
on Twitter.
That's the best bit. Is like, where'd she go? Where did the demon go?
It's like, find the original meat suit, and Allie shows up, and she shows up at the door, and next thing you know, Courtney Rush opens the door, and she's not happy to see her, and it's like, to be continued.
Well, in all honesty, if we're going on the whole Courtney Rush storyline, they were trying to kill each other back up in Canada.
This is correct.
So, you know, solid.
Great stuff. If you're not watching it, definitely check it out.
So, from the Impact spoilers for the last two nights, we got Brian Cage beating Phoenix. Eddie Edwards not being happy with Aries and Cross. Moose making the save, building up to a tag team match later on in the night. Kira Hogan beat Alicia Edwards. And then, Su Yung, Tessa Blanchard, and Ali are going to have a triple threat for the Knockouts title. Brandon Tidwell and Mr. Atlantis beat the Cult of Lee. Falabar and KM beat the Desi Hit Squad. With Gamma Singh cutting a heel promo on Toronto. Sort of saying your sports team suck. It's like, oh, dear God. Seidel beat Zachary Wentz. Rich Swann beat Pete Williams. And Eli Drake beat Brandon Tidwell. Basically, Drake got on the mic and said, I never said I was friends with the Cult of Lee. You know, this is one more test for you and Mr. Atlantis. And, you know, Atlantis accepted the challenge and he beat Tidwell instead. Whatever. And then Tessa Blanchard became Knockouts champion. So I guess Ali did the right thing. Because Su Yung is no longer champ. There you go. And then Moose got attacked by Killer Cross backstage for the semi-main. So it's basically 2-on-1 with Aries and Cross versus Edward. But then Moose comes out with a bandage on his head and beat the shit out of Eddie Edwards. So yes, Moose has turned heel. 25th letter of the alphabet, Owen?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I actually had advanced knowledge this was about to happen.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Because a friend of mine actually ran into Moose the other night, and it was confirmed that he was about to turn heel and join Austin Aries.
For fuck's sake. And then Sammy beat Penta in a Mexican death match. That feud must why the fuck continue. Oh, and on an explosion, Joe Hendry beat Tyson Dukes and LAX beat Tarek and Banks. So that happened. From what I remember as well, Joe Hendry was accompanied by like a 7-year-old kid with disabled kid.
I believe so, yes.
And the disabled kid got to pin Tyson Dukes as well.
Also correct.
So Matt Sydal beat Josh Alexander on Explosion. Why the fuck is Josh Alexander on Explosion? Amy shows up with Killer Cross and gives the mic to Moose, with the chance now becoming douche. I don't know. You know, whenever Eddie was having trouble after being in the hospital, after getting his face smashed in by Sammy, when having trouble with his wife, when he was getting ready for Tommy, I'd always listen to his call. But when I was in the hospital, the only person that showed up was Aries, and I'm going, oh. And it's like, when Moose and Cross with me, nobody's taking the title. And then Johnny Impact shows up and says, well, Impact Management's made it me versus you at Bound for Glory. And I'm like, what? Who the fuck called this? Who booked this shit? And of course, bloody Johnny Impact goes, by the way, Boone the Bounty Hunter's on DVD, Blu-ray, and on demand. And like, for fuck's sake. And Aries rightfully goes, I don't plug that crap on my dime. Come into the ring. And Johnny goes, you come outside. And it's like, wow. No, because it must be true about the small banana in your pocket. And I'm like, oh. That's sort of a decent line. And basically, Johnny gets beaten down by the three. They hit him in the throat with a chair like they did to Eddie on the first night. And then Scott Dunmore and the Impact officials stop it. I don't know, something happened. Rich Swann, Petey Williams went down. Sydal was basically on commentary, and when Swann was going to go for his reverse 360, Sydal said, go on, do it. And Swann just stared at him, and he missed the splash, and Petey recovered with the Canadian Destroyer. So then Gamma Singh comes out and says, I come from a country where we care about fitness and the women are beautiful, before introducing the Desi Hit Squad, and their opponents are Grado and Joe Hendry. Of course, there's the music video from Joe Hendry saying about being in love with his best friend's girl, but only as a friend. The Desi Squad win, but after the match, Katarina's upset with Grado and is sick of him losing. She's got another surprise. She's in love with Joe and giantly kisses him. And Joe's like, oh, what part of platonic love don't you understand? You're the problem. And Katarina slaps him and goes off to the back. And Joe helps Grado up and they hug and walk to the back. And I'm going, wait, are we trying to make Henry and Grado as being gay or something? I don't know what's going on. Then it's time for Eli Drake with some more dummies. Tonight's dummy being Stone Rockwell. And Eli wins in no time.
Lame.
Tessa retains
for Asylum.
Tessa retains the knockout title after getting out of a panic switch attempt and countering into the hammerlock DDT. While Tessa is celebrating, though, Sue's music hits and the Undead Bridesmaids come out, hits the panic switch, drags Tessa to try and put her in the coffin, but Ali and Kira give her double super kicks off the ramp and they help Tessa. So I guess Tessa's face? Maybe? OVE and Sammy Callahan murder Zachary Wentz, Ace Austin, and Miguel. With Sammy saying that they're the best trio in wrestling. And it's not ever going to be over with Phoenix and Pentagon. And if Brian Cage wants to interfere, it will never end for him. Because we're from Ohio and we're taking over everything. So I guess that means we're getting Impact versus Lucha Underground for Bound for Glory. Just randomly. Now we have sofas in the ring with Aries, Moose, and Killer Cross, and like we run the show. And basically, since Eddie's been here, maybe you should check on his wife and bring some champagne. And Aries is like, bring a 6-pack, and Falabar and KM come out and says, Moose, you turned your back on your best friend, Nicole, and you're just a douche. And he asks Falabar whether he wants a title shot, and that's happening. Spoilers, it doesn't actually happen till much later on. Phoenix and Pentagon beat Cult of Lee, with OVE coming on the screen and say, we're from Ohio and we're taking over everything. And like, that didn't work the first time you tried this gimmick. Don't try it again. Alicia Edwards versus Katarina. Grado and Joe appear afterwards, and Grado calls her Katarina. And Joe says Grado hasn't eaten since the breakup. And there's a new video called Access Denied with this is an interesting line from Joe. How could you ask me to be your lover after what you did with your pirate brother?
So good. So good.
And Katarina gets rolled up by Alicia, and Grado's just going, access denied, access denied. Like, yes. LAX smash the fraternity. With Eddie Kingston and the OG showing up afterwards. Apparently there's a ceasefire before Bound for Glory. Oh God, they're coming down that far. Cody and cousin Jake the Deaners get swashed by Homicide and Hernandez. But the Deaners apparently did pretty well. Then Cage wins with apparently impressive looking F5 on Congo Kong. And says whether Pentagon and Phoenix will be there, the machine will be at BFG and will decimate everyone. So then Bar versus Aries. Basically, Bar was going for the Banzai drop but got distracted by Moose and KM. Aries then knocked him off the middle rope and applied the last chancery to retain. But then KM gets attacked afterwards and he gets the chair shot throat thing. Looking at those spoilers, I don't know whether I'm supposed to give a fuck. Anybody like to tell me that whether I should or shouldn't give a fuck? Answers on a postcard.
Oh, Impact will be coming back to Orlando. We mentioned that, I believe, in January.
What's happened in January?
January or February, Impact returning here.
Oh, right. I haven't heard anything of that because obviously, I don't even know what they're doing in the terms of the run-up to, because they're still going to have to do another set of tapings to get to Bound for Glory, aren't they?
Yep.
At some point. Now, just because it's next up in my notes, World of fucking Sport. Apparently, Justin Sism demanded a title shot, which was accepted. That's all we know about it. Then we get a confrontation between Grado and Stu Bennett. And Grado basically wants a match tonight. But he wants Grado to treat the match seriously. So Grado comes to the ring in a business suit. The idea that he's suppressing his natural exuberance to impress Stu. And they had sort of a promo sort of war before the match, and Samuels was mocking Grado's appearance, and it's like, I've been working well on my physique. And yeah, the way it sort of turned was Grado countered a power bomb on the entrance ramp, and a random fan just managed to give Grado basically his hat, or a version of his hat, and then Grado realized who it was, ripped off his suit, had his usual ring gear, and Grado won with the cutter in about 5 minutes or so. So then we had Kirby and Hendry. Finish coming with Kirby avoiding a fall-away slam from Hendry, went for the power bomb, but Hendry lock was put in. Kirby then said, "Oh, you know, my ankle's injured." After he managed to get out of it, Hendry go towards him, got rolled up and pinned with Kirby's feet on the rope. So, you know, the confusing thing is they're doing this exact same fucking angle, except it looks as if Kirby's trying to be the heel in Defiant, even though Hendry's the heel. So I have no fucking clue. Then we had a tag title tournament thing, because it's time for BT Gunn and Stevie Boy versus CJ Banks and Brad Slayer. So yeah, a team that basically has never teamed before against an established team. Because that makes sense. Unsurprisingly, Gunn and Stevie Boy get the win. And then the big opportunity that Kid won in a ladder match from last week was the opportunity to get murdered by Crater. With Kid being stretched out afterwards as if to imply the Crater Splash, which is Crater's finisher, basically murdered him. Or something. And then in the main event, Rampage beat Justin Sism by count out to retain. Because basically Sism got Sism got held out from being able to get back in the ring. I really don't know what's going on. Because in all honesty, they're trying to do a product which is going to attract everybody. It's a family show. The problem is they're doing so much stuff that is going, it's going to use all the camera cutting and everything that diehards hate. And it's got complicated storylines and smarky storylines that the casual audience won't give a damn about. They honestly don't know about what's going on. The great thing is, apparently, Dave Meltzer's name was brought up in it. When Grado basically ripped off his suit, they basically said, "Oh, Dave's probably going to give that 5 stars." And I'm like, that isn't how it fucking works. The people, it's like, I'm amazed that this exists. I mean, if you want a good television product that exists from British stuff, I mean, there isn't any that I can think of, but if you could have like a a family version somehow of Progress. You know, without the swearing. Or, I don't know, a family version of Rev Pro. Well, pretty much anything other than this. It just seems like it's going absolutely nowhere. Somehow we've still got 7 weeks of it, allegedly. We'll see. You might not want to get your hopes up there. Try to remember what's next. Might as well quickly mention some UFC stuff, which isn't that much because there wasn't anything this weekend and there ain't anything major for the next couple of weeks. Next event is Lincoln, Nebraska on August 25th. So that's all I'll mention there. I did notice in the chats, Hyro's asking, can we join Ring Camp? I don't know whether they've got membership open on WXW's website. You have to find out. How long's Conor going to last against Khabib? I'm not sure. It depends how it goes further into the fight. I mean, it depends if the right Conor and Khabib turn up as to whether we get like a good physical fight that goes 5 rounds or a boring fight that goes 5 rounds. Or one of them doesn't show up and we just get like a first round knockout or something. Do I think Usman has a 70% chance if Till doesn't make weight and fight Woodley? Hang on. I don't know who else is available to step in from the welterweight division. I have to look at the welterweight rankings. And see who's available. Hopefully this goes right, if we can load it up. By the way, they're also asking Owen if you're dead. Apparently he is, everybody. That's fucking disturbing. Also disturbing, I've got 59 wasps in here. Yeah, fucking God. And we know Colby's out. I mean, technically Dos Anjos, maybe. I don't know whether Robbie Lawler's out injured. Usman is a possibility, but I don't know when his last fight was. I don't know whether they'd have Neil Manny step in at relatively short notice. And they seem to be happy enough with Cowboy fighting in November. So, I don't know. In all honesty, I think if Till doesn't make weight, I think now this time he's going to try to, because there's like something actually up for grabs, which could be something big. If he doesn't make weight, I think they might have a title fight, possibly. But more likely they might just have it as a non-title thing, mate, as well, if they wanted to do that. But then if it's like, because it's not in, I don't think, hang on, let's do a check. because I don't know what the rules are in Dallas, Texas, in terms of the weight cutting and everything. Because obviously, I remember at the one show that they had, they had the title fight anyway, even though somebody was like half a pound under or over, basically they missed weight by half a pound, but they still had us at a title match because UFC wanted it to be. So it depends on the discretion of the athletic commission in Dallas and all that. So we'll see. You think TJ's running away from Dominic Cruz? I don't know. Let's be honest, TJ's going to be looking for something that's going to get the most money in this day and age, with it all being about sort of getting the big money fights. Cruz would be. And if Cruz is up for it and they can come to the agreement, I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen. I mean, there's a perfect slot for it at the end of the year if they did want to do it in December. Was it 232? I think. Yeah, 232 at the end of December. You give enough time for Dillashaw to recover from the show that just went down in August, or maybe it could just actually be the January show. I don't know. And also, Ariel said Usman's as a replacement. It's feasible. I didn't catch Ariel stuff today. Any chance Baz Rutten, former UFC champ, can to return to New Japan? Probably not. I think they're happy enough with the roster as it is that they've got. Any chance Cyborg going to Strikeforce, since she does like Scott Coker? To be honest, I think there's more chance of Cyborg staying in UFC and or doing something with Ronda in WWE. Because let's be honest, that's the fight that we're never going to see in UFC. And if WWE can get Cyborg and Ronda, even if it is sort of in a shoot fight capacity, it's going to get viewers onto their product. So, and that's the sort of stuff that they're dragging for now. Philanthropy is king, everybody. Is Lesnar overrated in terms of his UFC stuff, considering he beat an old Randy Couture to become champion? Ooh. I'd say he was a fair champ, in all honesty. I'm trying to remember his record. I remember the win and everything. I mean, it technically started at the K1 back in Vegas in 06 and all that, but no, actually, he made it. Yeah, he made his debut against Frank Mir. My bad. Fucking wasps. Owen, can you do something so I can do some wasp stuff, please? Owen. Fucking hell. God damn it. God damn it. I mean, it was a TKO and it was in the second round. I mean, he did the right stuff and he fought against some decent guys. I guess the issue is what happened in terms of, because he beat Frank Mir in the rematch and he beat Shane Carwin. And then He lost to Velasquez. Which, to be honest, was a probable pass of a torch anyway. And then lost to Overeem, which is interesting considering all Overeem's issues sort of since then. And then, of course, the Mark Hunt. I'd say it was in that time when, okay, he had the bloody belt for, what, about 18 months? Well, I guess, no, technically, give or take 2 years from when he won it in November in 2008 to October 2010. And admittedly, he only defended the belt 3 times, of course, on the third that he lost it. But I think because there was some injury issues and whatever with that, that's what sort of cropped up with that, which we're seeing plenty of times nowadays with, this person's injured, we need an interim champion, or this person's injured, they don't fight for a year, sort of thing. Whether they're champion or challenger. So, I don't know. Anyway, something else to quickly run down. I guess
Kevin Nash is a heavyweight champion again.
Say again?
Kevin Nash is a heavyweight champion again.
What?
Yeah, he beat Flex Armstrong for the Big Time Wrestling Heavyweight Championship over the weekend.
What? And indeed, what? Wow. I don't know what to think now.
Chat messages. Let's see.
I went through quite a lot of them while you were asleep.
I'm sorry, guys. I need to be more often. And I even slept during Raw, so I'm like, I need to be out.
I'm guessing Hyro's saying there, I don't think DC's defending the light heavyweight belt.
Mm.
They've still yet to announce what the main event is for Madison Square Garden. DC's got plenty of time to do it then, I would say. I wouldn't say that would be happening. Watching Bellator 206, I didn't realize more a commentator for Strikeforce. Yeah, that's where he started. That's where he started before he got picked up about. I talked about Khabib versus Cyborg super fight? We having an intergender fight? What the fuck? I'm going to Lucha Underground. We need to get to playing some more Yes Roundabout. So we started off with Dario in a dodgy wig, Cueto, finishing a phone call, but Mariposa comes in saying how he's handsome and she's always fancied about being with a Cueto and she wants a Gift of the Gods title match, and Cueto says, you don't deserve it. And Mariposa just goes, well, we got a lot of money and we always get what we want. And Cueto's just like, yeah. So then the Rabbit Tribe come out to compete in a trios match, but Cueto showed up and said, one of the stable mates needs to be sacrificed to Matanza. And apparently Mala Suerte had failed the White Rabbit, so he gonna fucking die. And all what we need to know is he fucking died. Then Evilicious showed up. Exolicious, the former Sonny Kiss. Yes, I remember his name now. And Evilise losing to Jack Evans and Joey Ryan. It's worth noting that basically Evans managed to lock on what was called a modified Loco Plata. Licious didn't tap. The referee just stopped it after he passed out. And Joey yelled at Jack to release the hold. But, he refused to. Then Evilise made the save. And Evan said it's not over until he kills Exolicious. So wait, somebody that's an Exotica wants to be killed by Jack Evans. Is this some sort of queer baiting thing that's not looking good from a paper thing? Reading it on paper? Like, Dragon Azteca beats Mariposa to retain the title in no time at all. So all that money did fuck all. Well and truly, fuck all. And then World War Underground beat the Reptile Tribe in an Atomicos match. Therefore, basically meaning Mundo gets a wish. And his wish was to bring back Aero, or use his wish for Aerostar. Because he teamed up with the World Boy Underground for this one. And Aerostar's wish was to free Drago, and he got released. And Taya just goes, "You're an idiot, Johnny." And she's crying because I guess she wanted whatever her wish was. Mundo said that, Cobra couldn't grant my wish because only Taya could. And he got down on one knee and said, "Taya, will you marry me?" And she said, "Yes." The awkward thing is the marriage happened, 5 months ago?
Yes.
Brilliant, guys. Except stereo sound. So Jack Evans is backstage with the doll that wants the Exotico dead. Except apparently not even the Exotico is enough for this fucking doll. Because this promo basically goes, Johnny Mundo and Taya Valkyrie need to die as well. Why?
It says, Hyro says, I hate Killer Cross in general and his White Rabbit. It seems to be a general consensus here.
Yes.
Is Jeff signed to Ring of Honor?
I think so.
I think that officially happened. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Has Jeremiah Crane got revenge on Evilise?
Not yet.
What's up with Lucha killing Vibora and Masquerita?
I don't know. They hate midgets and talented dinosaurs. I don't know.
Why is Penta and Cage still going on? I hate that Cage still doesn't win the belt when he's had the most championships for it.
Probably. I have, it makes sense, but this is, God damn it, these fucking wasps.
There they go again.
Hyro going, I didn't know you watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You haven't been watching these Popcasts for the last 18 months.
No lie.
Ever since they did ever since I got caught up on the whole JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to be continued memes, I was just like, I'm using that fucking somewhere. And then Lucha Underground kept jumping it into my lap every time. Because JoJo's pretty sort of crazy as it is. And then, when we got 2 weeks ago, when, it was, it was like Masquerita Sagrada just got fucking murdered by Killer Cross as a rabbit. And then, like, the next week, oh, the Bora got decapitated. Because it's truly like, I don't know what's going on, but I need to know what goes on next week. Crazy shit going down and stuff. So, my God, the G1. My God, the G1. So, the stuff to cover, starting off with night 16. Ishii beat Juice Robinson. Zack Sabre Jr. beat Goto. Tonga beat Ibushi. There's a bit of a surprise. Yano beat Omega. Somewhat also a surprise. But that was because Omega got beaten the shit out of by Farley. And then Naito beat Sanada, which left it interesting going into the finals and everything. So, day 17. Friday night. Hopefully I can finally find the card for day 17. Or the results. There we go. Got them eventually. So I did catch some of this for both days and everything. The big thing, which does sort of develop in the last being the Elite, Ibushi, Skull, and Owens, and Kenny, and the Bucks decided to do a 6-man where they did absolutely nothing.
Oh, this amazing.
Except, especially the best bit when the referee was just like, you know, one of you in, two out. But at the time, he was sort of waving his arms. So, of course, Marty took that as a signal to do the whoop whoop thing with his arms. So then all 6 of them started doing the whoop whoop thing with their arms. And then they got attacked by the Tongans. It's like, oh. Who knows? So Makabe beat Elgin. Yoshihashi beat Hammond Page. Suzuki beat Farley by DQ because, of course. Evil beat Jay White, so ruining his chance of winning the block. And then Tanahashi drew with Okada in a very good 30-minute match. So Tanahashi has 15 points, progresses on to the final. But the way the bracket finished for Tanahashi, as I said, on 15. Okada had 13. Jay White had 12. Suzuki 10, along with Eagle. And then Elgin, Farley, Page, Makabe, and Yoshihashi all had 6. They're pretty even. Day 18. Had some interesting stuff as well. With Honma wrestling with Makabe and Tanahashi beating Okada, Gedo, and Yoshihashi. With Honma sort of getting very emotional. Because obviously, you know, it's his first time back in the stadium for quite a while after his accident and whatever. So it was good to see him back. So B Block, the finale to B Block started with Yano beating Tama Tonga by DQ. Juice Robinson beat Goto. Ishii beat Sanada. Zack Sabre Jr. beat Naito, so meaning Naito's pretty much out. And then Ibushi managed to beat Kenny. So Ibushi, even though Ibushi, Omega, Zack Sabre Jr., and Naito all finished on 12 points, because of head-to-heads and everything, Ibushi wins. Ishii had 10, Sonata had 8, Goto, Tonga, Yano, and Robinson had 6 each. So everybody got at least 3 wins. Even though for the Tongans, they were mainly via DQ. So be it. And then the finals. I mean, there was quite a lot that went down in this one. So Honma, Makabe, and Elgin beat Nagata, Umino, and Yoshida. Pretty much, I think Yoshida got the pin, being the young boy. Bad Luck Fale beat Toa Hanare in a minute and change, in pretty much a squash. Taichi and Izuka managed to beat Goto and Yoshihashi. Taichi going after Goto and Yoshihashi afterwards with the mic stand. So hopefully that means that's who's challenging Goto for the Never Openweight title now, rather than Izuka. Because when I looked at that on paper and saw what was happening, it was like, oh my god, is Izuka going to be challenging Goto in a? Why the fuck would I want to see this match? Cody and Hangman Page beat Juice Robinson and David Finlay, with Cody posing with the belt and cutting a promo on Juice. So yeah,
I think Cody and Juice might be happening at the show in September, Owen.
I think it's a good bet.
Then, thanks to being goaded into it, Marty Scurll and the Young Bucks dropped the Never Openweight 6-man titles to the Tongans of Tangaloa Tamatonga and Taiji Ishimori, because apparently Japanese are fucking Tongans or something. The great thing is, the OGs threw the belt down after the match and left without them, and the Bucks and Scurll left with the belts that they just lost. So I don't get it.
We have some questions in chat and comments. Hi, Rose says, what's my wrestling avatar? We know Ashley is a Big Daddy Austrian. I'm actually myself.
He is Mr. Perfect to Owen Hart.
Yes, I am. Best way to describe it is I used to be in the wrestling business actually for the longest time. I've worn many hats. I've been a booker. I've been a writer. I've run shows. I've been a promoter. I have been a ring announcer. I've been a special guest referee. My main love, of course, is commentary and being a manager.
I noticed Hyro saying also about cool matches as you see from Strikeforce or WEC. I don't know much about the WEC stuff. With the Strikeforce stuff, it's good to see the women's stuff, especially some Gina Carano stuff, I would say, because obviously you never saw Gina Carano in UFC. And to be honest, some of the women's fights that you got in Strikeforce were at the time were really some of the best stuff. It's only now in the latter time when you're actually getting good women's fights as well from the UFC. Yeah, Tanahashi. Well, that was Tanahashi's third win. I thought Kota was going to win. Yeah, but I think because they've already done the storyline of them not wanting to face each other, I don't think you could really do that for the title again, unless, of course, the title were to change hands, which we'll get to in a minute. Jay White is still in chaos. The junior belt, Takahashi is still technically champion. So I don't know what's happening there in terms of being the strip and everything. Is the taping when Cody and the Bucks win the 6-man belts out yet? I think maybe. I have to look at my notes. I don't know whether I've got Ring of Honor notes. I don't think so. I can't remember. I'd have to see if it's noted down and stuff. Anyway. What else? Book Big Daddy Ashley versus Heavyweight Champ Owen. No, because I'll just chop him and then he'd win by DQ. So I don't care for belts. I care for the carnage.
I do enjoy titles.
So randomly LIJ beat Suzuki Gun. Don't know why that happened. Then Ishii Yano and Jay White beat Kenny Omega, Yajiro, and Chase Owens. The idea being that Ishii is going to be challenging Kenny.
I'm good with that.
That should be it. Considering how bloody good their match was in the G1, I'm really intrigued to see what they can deliver for part 2.
And when they're 100% and not battling with God knows how many injuries from the actual tournament itself.
Mm-hmm. Then Mysterio, Kushida, and pro wrestler Sengoku Enbo, who clearly isn't Ryosuke Taguchi in a mask, beat Okada, Show, and Yo. The big thing to come out of this is Okada will not be having Gedo come to the ring with him anymore. He's going out on his own. Case in point, which I just mentioned here, he's going to be in Mexico this coming weekend for CMLL at the Arena Mexico show on Friday. So you might want to catch an eye out for that on the CMW. I think it's on the CMLL YouTube channel. Or if not, I believe if you follow the Cubs fan on YouTube, there'll be a feed of it. I'll probably be watching it because it gives me an excuse to watch Mexican Okada. And then, as hinted at by Hyro, yeah, Tanahashi beat Ibushi. Still in a very good match and everything. As I say, yeah, it would have been nice if Ibushi won, but I think Tanner Omega hasn't happened too often.
It's a fresh match for sure.
It's a relatively fresh match. So I think that's should be an interesting one. That's of course if one Tanahashi keeps the G1 Climax title shot. Because of course if we go through the brackets, if I can fucking find it. I'm trying to remember who Tanner lost to. I mean, technically Okada could challenge because, of course, I mean, Jay White has calls because Jay White beat Tanner on the first night. And that's actually, looking at it, that's the only point that Tanner dropped. So I guess we're getting a Tanahashi White rematch for the briefcase somewhere down the line, I'd have thought. And probably Okada as well, considering that went to a 30-minute draw. But we'll see. Aries still works Ring of Honor. Not sure. Was it Ray's last appearance for New Japan? In terms of the WWE deal, I don't know. The idea is that he does want to wrestle Liger and all that sort of stuff, which most would make sense for September. That's, of course, if he doesn't get injured and everything. I think that's all the TV stuff that we should touch on. Trying to see if I can check the full results from the stuff for this past week, because obviously we've got 3 progress shows to cover. If I've got them all. Okay, so there's the Boston show. which trying to remember. No, we covered the Boston show. Oh, we got 4 shows to cover. God damn. Right, so New York, Laboom. For night 1 of the Progress US Tour, week 2, I guess. Eddie Dennis beat TK Cooper. Natalia Markova beat Ashley Vox to challenge for the women's title. I guess later on in the night or on the next show, I'm not sure. Mark Haskins beat Flashman Webster in a submission match. CCK, which is Chris Brooks and Jonathan Gresham, because Kid Lycos is out injured. They just retained the tag titles over LAX. Then in the Thunder Bastard, Sexy Star beat the Grizzled Young Vet. Matt Riddle beat Mandrews. And then British Strong Style beat Jimmy Havoc, Eddie Kingston, and Brody King in that's a random match. Because let's be honest, that's pretty random. Then Thursday, Seattle, Washington. That's how it's pronounced. TK Cooper beat Eddie Dennis again on this one. Grizzled Young Vets beat the American Guns of Ethan HD and Mike Santiago. Brody King beat Elliot Saxton. British Strong Style beat Flamita Bandito and Ray Horus. From what I've heard, that's a damn good match. Mandrews beat Flashman Webster, King Clash, and Artemis Spencer in a 4-way. CCK retained the tag belt as well as getting another 2 points in the Thunder Bastard, beating Sexy Star. And then Volta beat Jimmy Havoc to retain the Progress World title. Because of course he did. Of course he bloody did. He should have done. Thank fucking God. Now I'm trying to get the other results up. There it is. So then Chicago on Saturday. Jimmy Havoc beat Mandrews. Tyler Bates beat TK Cooper. Grizzled Young Vets and Ginny beat Jack Smith, Darby Allin, and Tony Storm. Pete Dunne beat Flashman Webster, retained the WWE UK title. In a 4-way, Brody King won against Trent Seven, Matt Riddle, and Elliot Sexton. Then Flamita and Bandido beat CCK to become the new Progress World Tag Champs. Well, that's complicating up Wembley, isn't it? And then Volta beat Eddie Dennis because, of course, he did. And then finally, for the show in Detroit from last Sunday, Tyler Bate beat Eddie Dennis. Ginny retained over Tony Storm, Jordan Grace, and Natalia Morova in the 4-way. British Strong Styler Pete Dunne, Trent Seven beat the Page brothers of Ricky Sane and Ethan Page. Oh, wait. Is Ricky Shane Page changed his name? I don't know. Volta beat Mark Andrews, because of course he did. But then afterwards, Eddie Dennis attacked Mandrews. Then, prior to this scramble match that went down, Flashman Webster said that the match didn't matter and he wouldn't be competing. But then he got involved and won it anyway, beating Chris Brooks, Jack Smith, Al Fox, Brody King, and Elliot Sexton. Jimmy Havoc beat TK Cooper. And then Flamita and Bandido beat the Grizzled Young Vets. So they're still champs. So unless the titles change hands at the next show for Progress in the UK in a couple of weeks, or on the German tour, I guess there's going to be 8 teams in the Thunder Bastard. Because the champions are going to have to be in it, I'd have thought. Shall we cover the Mae Young Classic stuff now, Owen? Because I just remembered that we got to cover that all. So Britt Baker beat Tisha Price in a dark match. Why was Britt Baker in a dark match? So in the first round, Tegan Knox beat Zatara, Rhea Ripley beat MJ Jenkins, Lacey Lane beat Vanessa Craven, Miko fucking Satomura beat Killer Kelly, Deonna Purrazzo beating Priscilla Kelly, Zeuxis over Ariel Monroe, Katie Kazano over Reina Gonzalez, Mercedes Martinez beat Ashley Rain, Caitlin beat Kavita Devi, Tony Storm over Ginny. Wow, they did that in the first round. Don't build to it, guys. Gia Lee beat Karen Q. Mia Yim went over Allison Kay. Hiroyu Matsumoto beat Rachel Evers. Tanara Conti beat Jessie Elabam. Nicole Matthews beat Isla Dawn. And Io Shirai beat Zia Brookside. Ominous start. Then to night 2. In the second round, we started off with Tony Storm beating Hiroyu Matsumoto. Rhea Ripley over Katie Cantanaro. Lacey Lane beating Tanara Conti. Miko fucking Satomura beating Mercedes Martinez in a big match, I would say. Io Shirai beating Zeuxis. Deonna Purrazzo over G Lee. Tegan Knox beating Nicole Matthews. And then Mia Yim beating Caitlin. That's a strong 8 already. In the quarters, Miko fucking Satomura beat Lacey Lane to advance. Io Shirai beat Deonna Purrazzo. Tony Storm beat Mia Yim. And then Rhea Ripley beating Tegan Knox by referee stoppage. Do you want to talk about the injury, Owen?
Oh boy. That sucks. I mean,
Yeah.
it's bad timing too.
I feel sorry for her. For, obviously, this she was supposed to be in the first one, but got injured and everything. And the nature of the break apparently silenced the crowd, which is pretty big, I'd say.
I'd say so.
Although from the sounds of it, she's not treating this as sort of a, this is her career over. She's going to use this as something to make her stronger still. Because I think the advantage is, actually, ironically, just like Rhea Ripley, who's 21, Tegan Knox, Nixon Newell, whatever you want to call her, she's only 23 as well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the big question is, whether how deep in detail they're going to show this.
Well, I mean, I was looking into it, and it sounds like they're going to show it. It was
Which
actually
makes sense,
yeah.
considering it is a tournament. I mean, they can get away with hiding it with the whole what happened with the UK with Ginny knocking herself out and redoing the match as a triple threat, even though they left the blurb in about being a 4-way.
Right.
It wasn't awkward at all. It's very fucking awkward. But you notice the key factor here about the semi-finalists, if you take out Rhea or Tegan Knox to that extent. Well, and I guess to some extent, it's a very Japanese-based semi-final.
Right.
With Satomura Shirai and Tony Storm in there. Then again, it was last time with Shayna and Kyrie and Tony Storm again. So then they had a 6-woman tag for a break. With Zia Brookside, MJ Jenkinson, Jessie Elabam beating Allison Kay, Reina Gonzalez, and Vanessa Craven. And then Ariel Monroe and Candice LeRae beat Ginny and Killer Kelly. And then in your 2 semi-finals, Tony Storm beat Miko fucking Satomura. And Io Shirai beat Rhea Ripley. So, in a rematch from Stardom many, many times, Shirai versus Storm on October 28th at the Evolution pay-per-view. Considering which two women are in that match, that is the match everybody should be fucking excited for. Not any other women's match. This is the one where it's like, why weren't these women in the company 3 years ago? I mean, we know with Shirai because she failed a wellness thing. Basically, they weren't sure about whether she was fit and ready. So they just wanted to be extra cautious. Tony, probably because she would have only been like 19 and been too young. Because she only sort of really started up 4 or 5 years ago. But I tell you, that is the match that people are going to be going, that match of the night. Unless something really changes. But we'll see. Speaking of women's wrestling, though, Pro Wrestling Eve had a couple of shows in the Resistance Gallery. We had Rhea O'Reilly beat Sarah Loxton, Addie Starr over Charlie Evans, Viper beat Kaylee Ray in a She-Won qualifier, Laura Di Matteo beat Zoe Lucas, Jetta and Jamie Hayter beat Erin Angel and Session Moth Martina, and Charlie Morgan retained the Eve title over Casey. And then for stage 2 of She-Volution, is it a mystery? From Sunday, Jetta beat Nightshade, Rebel Kinney over Luna Rocks, Rhea O'Reilly beat Claudia Bradstone, Kaylee Ray beat Sadie Gibbs, Nina Samuels beat Kanji, and then Rhea O'Reilly beat Rebel Kinney because we had to have that as a double main event. They had to wrestle twice, apparently. Crazy stuff. And then the Evolve doubleheader. Evolve 110. Jake Parnell retained the 0-1 USX division title over Gary J. Isaias Velasquez beat Matt Nix to retain the freelance wrestling championship. Oh, he's got that back. That's good. Anthony Aaron beat John Davis and Josh Briggs in a freeway. DJZ beat AR Fox. Volta beat JD Drake, because of course he did. Yaka beat Tracy Williams. The Skulk of Adrian Alanis, Leon Ruff, and Tommy Maserati beat Catch Point of Hathaway, Dickinson, and Guarini. And then Strickland and Austin Theory beat Joey Janela and Saeed El Saba in the main event. Because that didn't make sense. And then 111 in Detroit. Saeed El Saba beat Yaka. Darby Allin over Brian Idol. John Davis and Josh Briggs went to a double DQ. Volta beat Anthony Henry by pinfall, because of course he did. Matt Riddle beat JD Drake by ref stoppage. The Riddle actually went over in his last match for Evolve, which is a weird, nice touch. Via referee stoppage, Shane Strickland beat DJZ to retain the Evolve World title. The triple threat between AR Fox, Joey Janela, and Austin Theory became a 4-way because Janela wanted Darby Allin in the match. The key fact, though, being that whoever was pinned wouldn't be champion. Hang on. The rule was Joey Janela had to be pinned in order for the belt to change hands. So considering AR Fox pinned Austin Theory, Janela retains the belt. We'll see what happens with that. And then in the I Quit career match, Tracy Williams beat Chris Dickinson and Stokely Hathaway. So Stokely Hathaway is gone, which means Stokely Hathaway will be showing up in the crowd, hopefully at NXT. I mean, we can hope, but, you know, probably not. Fucking hell. Fucking wasps. God, we're nearly taking this home. Just so I can get this fucking bug spray in. Please don't tell me it stung me on the side of my neck. For fuck's sake. Otherwise, I'm probably going to die because I don't even know if I'm allergic to this shit. Fucking hell.
Good.
Oh, I really did not remember. I completely forgot the biggest thing that happened this weekend. Dear Lord. I'll get to that in a minute because I just want to see if I can get the list of shows that should be happening this week as well up. If they're accurate, of course, which they're probably not. So yeah, Shikarasaurus Rex happened. Danger Hawk retained the Young Lions Cup against Sage Phillips. Volgar beat Hype Rockwell. Deppen and Huckabee won the four-corner elimination tag. Only got 1 point though, because they pinned. Well, it got complicated. So basically, Nighthawk and Razorhawk got eliminated first by the Creatures of the Deep. Then Fee-Fang and Green Ant pinned the Crustacean Crew and whatever. And then the Reborn Fist got the actual pin with the end, including some feet on the ropes and whatever. But then there was a giant brawl afterwards, including Icarus and Fire Ant both joining it. With, interestingly, Fire Ant calling for the Antipult, leaving the colony standing tall. So it looks as if Fire Ant's back on the same page. Soldier Ant's return. I wouldn't say unsurprisingly, very surprisingly, the opposite. So that went down. The Beast Warriors beat Crumbs and Defarge in a little bit of revenge for what happened at the last show. Solo Darling beat Ophidian in a very good little fight. The big thing coming out of it, though, is Solo asked for a handshake afterwards, but Ophidian denied it. They are 1-on-1 against each other, though, so that's an interesting one. Dasher and Boomer Hatfield managed to beat Hallowicked and Frightmare. And then in the 13th defense, I guess it turned out to be unlucky. The end zone crossface was locked on, and Coronado, having put on the Coronado clutch himself and, being amazed that somebody got out, had to submit. And we have only I think our fucking hell. They're all fucking everywhere. They're crawling on the floor. I can't fucking sit. I can't fucking stand.
I'd make a joke right now, but there's no reason to.
AJ already did it on the Oscars show. Cheap pop.
I know he did. Take it home.
Blowing the wasps away first. There's 3 just lying on the floor. 4 of them lying on the floor. They're fucking drunk. They've been chopped by Volta. Fucking hell. I was trying to get the stats for the Shikara Grand Championship because I'm pretty sure. Oh, wow. Brilliant. Wikipedia hasn't even been updated, you stupid twat. Angela Setti is the 8th ever champion, considering that belt's existed for nearly 7 years. So that's pretty good. So that happened. So stuff coming up this weekend. The brief list I'm seeing, House of Glory is showing up, apparently with Enzo Amore being there and Big Cass, even though Enzo said he wanted nothing to do with wrestling. So I don't know whether this means Enzo's even showing up to this show. Ring of Honor is having its triple set of UK shows, which are not available on Ring of Honor's Honor Club. They are, however, available on Fight TV. So that isn't confusing. There's a double header of shows both in Northern and Southern Ireland for OTT. Southside Wrestling's got a show this weekend. I think there's a couple of Preston City shows, including maybe, I think, a free one and the Tower Ballroom in Blackpool, but don't take my word for that off the top of my head. PWX in North Carolina's got a show. Game Changer Wrestling has got something, I believe, as well. I don't know whether that is TOS free, is it? I mean, this would be more your alley if it was, because it probably involves new fucking gig. Oh no, it's the Lost in New York show from Joey Janela. That crazy shit. With let's just go through that one. Issue open challenge from Carl the Beast. Tony Deppen, Gringo Loco, Eli Everfly, Jimmy Lloyd, and G Raver in a grab the Rasserang match, which is basically a ladder match. Chris Dickinson versus Teddy Ha for the first time ever. Nate Webb versus Maxwell Jacob Friedman, with a special appearance just for that match by Wheatus. Because MJF hates Wheatus. Matt Riddle versus PCO in a super fight, which will probably be Riddle's last appearance, wouldn't it? He better not get fucked up too much then by PCO. Otherwise, that face when it shows up on bloody NXT is going to be a little bit awkward. Meng or Haku, whatever you want to call him, is taking on Nick fucking Gage. And then in another case of what? The main event, Joey Janela versus Hakushi, aka Jinsei Shinzaki. Okay. That's happening, I guess. On top of that, let me just have a quick look through the other stuff. Dragon Gate Japan. Oh, I missed that. Well, too bad. I don't think there's any New Japan stuff until probably September time-ish. They get a couple of weeks off. Then again, with Okada being for CMLL, and a few of them going to be over for the Ring of Honor stuff, and I don't know if there's Rev Pro stuff coming up this week as well. It would make sense because they normally tie it in with the Ring of Honor UK stuff. That's probably happening. AOW isn't till a couple of weeks' time. ICW isn't till a couple of weeks' time. Shikara, I think, has got another hour of power this week. So if you're signed up to Shikaratopia, you can get that. Apart from that, I think that is all to really touch on that I'm pretty sure is coming this weekend. I have to update my notes as we wind into the weekend before Labor Day. And then, I mean, do we even call it Labor Day or we just call it All In?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Then again, should we call it All In? Because, you know, WXW, you know, the last Progress shows before the Wembley show at the end of September. Fun is coming. So yeah, looking pretty hectic and all the stuff.
Do you have Hyro's comments?
Have a quick look. How's James Ellsworth? Not sure.
He's losing to Grimm on Saturday. Shoot.
Let's have a quick look.
We're doing SummerSlam live. I can't afford to do a show Monday morning. I'm to do a show Sunday night.
SummerSlam will be live reactions, just like it was for Mania. And hopefully, just like Mania, we end with a Brock Lesnar win, just because I don't want to. You are fucking going away, son. You're not coming anywhere near here. Fuck off.
Since it will be the last I believe it's the last pay-per-view we're covering before I delve into Horror Nights.
All In.
I think All In's going to be a live show too.
Yeah, All In might be live. It's the last WWE thing that me and Owen will be doing.
Yep.
By the way, are we doing live or not live for NXT?
I don't know yet. I mean, we could go live. It depends on what's going on for Saturday. We haven't decided yet.
No problem. Seeing the other stuff. Liv Morgan and Tyler Bate still a thing? From what I know, yes. Owen, how do you feel about Baz Rutten returning to New Japan?
I mean, it's one of those things that it's just like if it's time.
Is Princess Kelly Killer Kelly? No. Killer Kelly is Portuguese girl that will murder you. When will the NXT UK taping be coming? It is the weekend after SummerSlam. It's the bank holiday as it is over here. They're taking advantage of the Saturday and Sunday days, I think, from what I remember, happening over here, just up the road from me. But ticket to £30, so stuff that. They're charging that much. Plus, it's just in a convention hall with not any like decent seating. It's not even like a proper venue. Like, yeah, no. It's not like the arena. You know, it's going to be like the same setup that Fight Club Pro had, which even they, I don't think, were charging that much. Plus, that had interesting because it had Miko fucking Satomura, because the NXT UK show ain't going to have it. Hopefully, Tony Storm's on it, but you never know. Why did Tessa Blanchard not go to WWE? Was it because of Ricochet? I don't think so. They had plenty of chances to sign her, and they never did. So I honestly, I guess they thought there wasn't any point in bringing her because they were already on the Charlotte Flair hype train. But when you think about it, what if that was the true 4 horsewomen? All we need is Arn Anderson's daughter. And that'd be perfect. I hope Ashley becomes Spider-Man ability. It's a wasp. It's not. If anything, I become Evangeline Lilly, which is a bit awkward. Because then I'll be lost. Way. Rey Mysterio going to the WWE? Not sure. Riddle and Ronda are the only ones that have 3 movesets in Wikipedia. They still have movesets? I thought they were getting rid of them.
They got rid of them.
Ian Riccoboni, would he ever go to WWE if the money was good? Maybe. But then again, would he get the chance to be on major pay-per-view if he was in WWE? In all honesty, I'd say no. How strong is Impact and Ring of Honor's relationship? I know that Abyss was in Ring of Honor. Yeah, but that was when Impact and Ring of Honor still liked each other. Because they didn't Impact pull the thing where no talents could be on the other show?
Yes.
Right back in 07-ish, 06-ish. Which is why you lost Joe and AJ and all that from the great ROH matches that they had. For nothing. Because, you know, sad face. And all that. Yeah, I think that's where we'll leave it because we've been about 2 hours and change. So, yeah, for sure, join us on Sunday for live reactions to SummerSlam. We'll try and, I mean, I think we'll set the time to start at like, shall we say 5:30 Eastern?
Good Lord. Yeah, I guess we'll have to.
And we'll just hope that we don't miss the first pre-show match. Because I'm guessing they'll have it in the second half hour of that first hour.
That's my
Of the
guess.
2 hour. It is a 2 hour pre-show, isn't it? Hang
Yeah.
on. It's off. I need to go to my my link for telling me when shows are happening. Let's have a quick look. Takeover is being listed as a Takeover's starting earlier as well. Takeover's starting at 7 Eastern, apparently.
I need to stop doing this.
But it's scheduled for 2. It's been given a 2.5 hour slot. So read into that what you will. Then again, there's nothing important after it, so maybe they can do it some other time. I don't know. And then SummerSlam, SummerSlam kicks off at 5 Eastern. So I'd say if we go 5:30, and if we miss the first match, so be it. Because if we want to give you, because they are listing SummerSlam as 4.5 hours, which could mean 5. And because we know that Hangouts only last 8 hours, Owen can attest to that because of HHN.
Yep.
Like, what, 2 years ago?
Don't worry, that's coming back.
It's coming. Suicide.
John Cena in hell when he lost to Taker. That's why we haven't seen him.
Oh.
No.
Something like that.
Yeah, Logan, we've got a Word Nights podcast coming very, very, very soon. Just waiting for everything to be officially announced. We still got 3 houses left to announce. Well, technically speaking, still have 3 houses left to announce, even though we pretty much know what the lineup is.
Stuff will happen.
Yep.
Yeah, so as I say, for sure, Sunday. Saturday, we'll see. We good for next week in terms of Monday or not?
Scheduling. Checking the schedule. Monday night. What is that? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Monday's the 20th.
Maybe. We'll see.
Impact having their own Twitch special. Oh, God. Oh, NJPW? Oh, God, Alex Shane's getting involved. We know what that means, everybody. Yeah, fucked. On that bomb yawn.
Yup.
Thanks, everybody, for coming on out.
Yes.
And stuff.
You joining us. If you haven't checked out the Oscar podcast, go ahead and do so. If that's your thing. If not, no worries. If it's your thing, then we got much more content coming every single month for you guys. And like we have live reaction videos, podcast coming soon for SummerSlam, All In, and a lot of stuff moving forward. Where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at Ashes My Name UK. Don't know why I said it like that.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be a Gaming with Ash and a Snack Stash coming in the near future.
Yeah, Snack Stash, I think, have got something lined up. I guess just because how popular Volta was. We're going to go with another wrestler-themed cheese.
Oh, God.
Wrestling cheese. You never knew you wanted it as a series. Oh, wait, you didn't, but I'm doing it anyway.
Good Lord. So I'm returning with Snack later this week. AJ's movie reviews is coming out. This is Tuesday's video, coming out tomorrow, so get ready for that. There's 6 movies on this video, so check that out. AJ was back at it again next week, as well with bringing Versus back. Versus just went up earlier last night. Check that out. And we've got more Seven Snack guest star series coming in the near future, probably more Bella in the near future, and more Halloween Horror Nights stuff coming in the near future. So get ready for that. A lot of wrestling content coming to the network. Follow me on Twitter at Turo and Disney. Follow the network at Popcast Network, and check out our Facebook fan page, Popcast Network. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, whether live or archive. And in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we are very pleased that once more tonight you have chosen a podcast. Thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
This is the true Dvorak. Volta is God.